Thank you all for tuning in and joining. Let's Talk Speak on It. I'm your host, Samika Cozy. Thank you all so much for joining us today. So many times we give up on our dreams. Some say, hey, I'm too old, I'm too young, I don't have the resources to go and to complete this. So many people walk away from what is already within them to do. I always say you're never too young or too old to go after what it is you want. Your gift will always make room for you. Today, we sit down with a minister, author, writer, and film creator, Miss Aretha Tatum, also known as Mrs. Respeect. Thank you for joining us today.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Can you tell our listeners a little about yourself?
Well, I am Aretha Tatum. I go by Miss Respect, Respect. And I am a minister, filmmaker, author, motivational speaker, songwriter, go for, go get, whatever God leads me to do, that's what I do. But the interesting thing is my background is actually accounting. So I started, my career has been in accounting, various areas of accounting. And at the age of 43 in 2010 is when I got called into ministry. And that's when everything went to a whole nother level.
Awesome. That's very exciting and interesting to hear because I didn't know you were into accounting also. That's amazing.
That is actually my background. I worked as an accountant. When I was in college, I thought, okay, what career can I have that is going to be able to sustain me? And I said, well, every business, no matter what industry, is going to need someone to handle the money.
Yes.
So that's why I made the decision to go into accounting. And I was able to do it. And let the record show for those of you who always think that accounting is not math. I would get A's in accounting and C's in math. So the hard part about being an accountant is actually not math, because you don't have to be great in math to be an accountant.
Okay, awesome. And so I know you mentioned that you are into film, you are a writer. At what point did you decide to start going into creating films and writing?
Well, actually, I didn't decide. What happened was when I got called into ministry, I was seeking the Lord. What is my purpose? What do I do? And that's when I got the revelation that media, arts, and entertainment is my area of ministry. And I said, oh, okay. Because, again, we're supposed to be the light of the world. So what part of the world should you be in? And that was the revelation I got. So I started going to film festivals and movie premieres, which was fun, right? Thinking initially that my goal is to minister to people in entertainment, to remind them you don't have to sell your soul, in order to get into this industry. Yes. But as time went on, I started making connections, with people that were in the Chicagoland area film industry. And then eventually I got the revelation, no, you're not just going to minister to them. I'm going to give you content to lift me up, to give God glory. And so I started writing my first screenplay. And it was for a feature film, which is still on the shelf.
Okay.
Because it costs money for a feature film to get done. But I said, I'm being obedient. I wrote the screenplay. I had a couple of people look at it, and give me notes on it. And then I just sat it on the shelf. And that was around 2015, 2016. In 2017, I got the idea to write this short screenplay for a short film. And I said, oh, okay. A short film is doable, more doable. But the short film was biblically based on Sarah, Hannah, Elizabeth, and Mary, and it would require costuming, period, because it's a period piece. Mm-hmm. Well, that's still going to cost money in order to get all of that. So I kind of put that on the shelf. And then one day, which is interesting, I was at the car wash. And I was waiting for them to wash my car. And I just started meditating on the miracles that Jesus did. Just thinking about that. And blind Bartimaeus came to my mind. And I know it was the Holy Spirit. And I was like, oh, yeah, what was it like for him? That he was blind and then he called out to Jesus and then he ended up getting his sight restored. And that's when I got the revelation, do the film. I'm like, about blind Bartimaeus? And do it with all audio. and then
Okay.
through his eyes. And I'm like, oh my goodness.
Oh.
So my
Mm-hmm.
first film in 2017 is all of 5 minutes and 17 seconds long, and it's all audio, and because it's through the blind man's perspective. So from a production standpoint, it was a whole lot easier to do that because you don't see anything.
Mm-hmm.
And they added, I found a production company to do. Actually, we did film. And what we did was I had my actors act it out. They were in costumes because the last scene when he opened his eyes, you barely saw a little bit of the crowd. So I needed that shot. And other than that, I had their audio recorded outside. So that was an interesting production because every time a plane went by, somebody was mowing their grass, I said, cut, because of course that didn't exist back then.
Yes.
We could allow was the birds, going overhead because everything else we had to cut out. But it was so much fun. And it turned out it won a couple of awards at film festivals for the creativity of it because literally people would watch it and think it was something wrong with the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll get it through his eyes. Oh, he's blind, so we're blind. We can't see because he can't see.
Yes.
And yeah, so that was my very first film that I actually produced. It was easier to produce because of the concept of the film. So again, I entered in thinking outside of the box because God gave me a creative way to do my first film, which didn't cost that much money.
Yes, and that is so amazing too, because I wouldn't have thought, especially if I was able to see that picture, I would have been like everyone else, like, what's wrong with my screen? Why is it black? I can't see anything. And then as it went on, understanding that we're seeing through his eyes. So that is amazing. Thank you for doing that too.
Oh, it was in the next step, we actually did a film premiere for it. And at the time, you didn't see film premieres for short films.
Yes.
Usually because it's a short film. But the way God led me to do it was to get the theater. And then you rent the theater for 2 hours, right? Because typically it's a feature film. I did an hour of power. So in 2 screenings, we would see the film. And then I actually had a DJ there. I had someone sing the theme song that went with the film. She performed that live. It was a meet and greet with the cast, the Q&A with the cast. So it was an experience that was built around the film. And when they watched the film, I had everyone in the audience close their eyes. And so they were sitting there just hearing it. And of course, in the theater, you got the surround sound speakers, the sheep and all the background. It was an amazing experience. So again, as God leads me, I'm not looking to do what everyone else does. I'm looking to do what He leads me to do, and He's leading me to do things differently.
Yes, and that is very exciting. Nice.
Yes.
And so I know you have on your season shirt. So you also produce a film titled Season, which is on Tubi. I have been able to watch it, and so it's about men and women in their midlife who are going and pursuing their goals. Can you tell us a little bit more of the background to that film?
Right. Actually, Season is a dramedy musical series that we have running on Tubi. And the way that started out is I actually did a short film called Seasoned. And that film was done when we were kind of coming out of the pandemic. So during the pandemic, I did what I called my pandemic comedy shorts. And they were I would write the script, give it to the actors. They recorded themselves, and we put it together in editing so that, of course, we couldn't meet, but I was able to produce 4 films during the pandemic that were virtual films that it made sense. So, like, for instance, the first one was called No Contact Love. So it was about an online dating app for you to do virtual dates, and no contact love. So it made sense for it to be self-taped because the premise of the storyline went along with it. Yes. So come fast forward towards the end of where we were kind of coming out of the isolation, I decided to had an idea to do a film called Season, and I had a song called "Don't Count Me Out" that I had written. So at that point, I started writing songs, and I said, let's do this as a hybrid. So we did part of the film virtually, and then the big performance scene with the ladies singing, we actually recorded that at a theater. So it was fun, and I said, oh, this is cool. And the message of it was, don't count me out. The ladies had wanted to start a singing group when they were in college, never got around to it, and finally said, what if we do it? So that's what the premise of the original Season film was. Okay. And what happened was another filmmaker saw that, and he said, that right there is a powerful message. And he knew one of my cast members and said that, give me a meeting with her. I want to talk to her about Season. And I said, okay. So his name is Andre Blaze Rogers. So we had a meeting, and he said, you need to turn this into a season, a series. And I said, a series? I wasn't thinking about that. He said, no. The message is powerful. Turn it into a series. You write the screenplay, I'll film, and I'll edit it. And I said, okay. So I started writing the first 3 episodes, and I think I had them done in about a week and a half. I had episodes 1, 2, and 3, and we went into filming, and we got the cast and started filming it in the Chicagoland area, and got the first 3 episodes on Tubi. The next year, because we have no budget, we went back to production and then did episodes 4 and 5 and put those up on Tubi. So it's been an amazing journey.
Yes, and it is really good. I truly enjoyed watching it. And at the end, I was like, okay, where's the rest? I need some more of this. This is really good. I'm into it. And so it is awesome.
Yeah, it was, and the thing about Season is it's really 2 productions in one, because it's a musical. So every song is an original song that we had to go into the studio to record and get those songs done. So our plan was, okay, let's get the songs done first, and then when we film, we'll have them ready for filming. And so, yes, that's a whole nother production too, is to actually bring those songs to life.
Okay, and then how was that different from what you were doing before?
Before, I always used another artist's music, and I find an independent artist and give them an opportunity to say, hey, can I use your song in my film? And use it for the end credits or at some point during my other short films. And that had been my MO. But once No Contact Love came around, there was no song that fit. So that's why I ended up, God gave me the inspiration to write the lyrics to No Contact Love. So it went on from there, where I ended up writing more and more songs. So yeah, normally I would get the music from that's already done from an independent artist, but then Season just took it to a whole nother level. We're producing the songs ourselves, and then because of that, the songs fit the series. So the songs are specifically geared toward the message of Season.
Okay, awesome. And so I know in Season there are a lot of scenes to where it is related to going to church and then singing within the church, and you are a minister. So why was that important to make sure that you were still able to collaborate and put that into all of the films that you are doing?
Because at the end of the day, I'm still in ministry. And filmmaking is a ministry tool for me. So at some point except for my comedy projects, they're just funny. They're just kind of straight comedy. But the ones that actually have the drama in it, at some point you're going to see the fact that this is still a kingdom project. We might deal with some real life situations, like in Season, there's a bad guy that, he's not faithful to his wife, but you're not playing into it to the point where it looks like everyone else. We'll give you the storyline, but it's not necessary. You get it. You know what we're trying to say. Yes. But we gotta always make sure that every project I do that is either gonna make you laugh or it's gonna uplift you and encourage you. So that's gonna be the theme throughout anything that I do, because that's my purpose for creating, is to, at the end of the day, I can sit next to Jesus and watch my film and not be like, oh, I didn't mean. guarantee that. It's always going to have some inspiration in it.
And so throughout your career, you've been writing in the ministry, creating films, and you're also an author. So what have been some of the challenges that you faced on the way?
For as an author, I actually have 4 books out, and those are ministry tools as well because they're nonfiction books. When my first book was released, it was amazing. I was in Bible study, and they were talking about, what did they say? Oh, how Jesus couldn't do any mighty works in his hometown, And so on my way home from Bible study, I was listening to the news radio, and they were saying that in one of the suburban council meetings, they said that it was a Jewish woman that complained that in the opening prayer, the person said the name Jesus too much. And I was joking. I just kind of said, oh, all these years later, they still got a problem with Jesus. And when I got home, the Holy Spirit said, write the book. I said, what book? The Problem with Jesus. And I said, well, I'm not an author. I'm not a writer. He's like, I will help you with it. And within a week, I wrote the book, The Problem with Jesus. And it's actually an evangelistic tool that talks about the different issues that people have with Jesus and why, he is who he is. And so it's not a big book, and people often think, oh, if I write a book, I got to do 500 pages, 200 pages. My books are average about 60 to 70 pages. So you don't have to write a lot because I just go straight to the point. I call my books appetizers. The Bible is the main course. My books are appetizers. So that was a first to write the book. And what happened after that is every 2 years, so 2014, the first book, 2016, 2018, and 2020. So every 2 years, God was like, write this book. And I'm like, okay, well, help me with it. And the next thing I know, I have 4 books. I said, okay. So then when it came to the filmmaking, it was the same thing. I haven't done this before, but with everything, you haven't done it till you do it. And then you just get better. So people are often afraid because they think I might not do it good, it might not be enough, but don't, just do it. And now that you've done it, you can always get better at what you're doing. So the challenge is believing you can do it, right? Because you have to first believe you can do it. And then with the filmmaking, it's always the funding for films and getting the money to get it done. But again, as you go, God can show you what way to go. So I've been blessed that my initial short films, I actually paid for myself. I said, okay, how do I get it done? How much it's going to cost? Because the filming and the editing is the most expensive part of it. So I found a production company that said, you know what, we'll do it in installments. I said, installments? I can do that. And so I set a plan, and then we just went and filmed it. Now, and I always say this, do what God is leading you to do, and he will send people to help you.
Yes.
So, yeah, with the first, with Seasoned, the short film, I had a producer who paid for everything. He saw what I was doing and said, I like what you're doing. I want to invest in what you're doing. And then he did. And the production was paid for that way. So that's what happens with the series too. Between favor, because some places are excited about what you're doing. So you can get some locations for free. You can get actors that get on board because they're trying to build their acting career. And so, yeah, in favor of God. And then, you do what people love or what people get on board with. They see what you're doing. They will invest in what you're doing.
Okay. And with doing all of the things that you are doing, how do you find balance for yourself?
There's a season for everything. And I realized that I don't do it all at once. There was a season where I was concentrating on the books, and I was doing book events at the Black Women's Expo, Indiana Black Expo, where I was out there promoting and selling my books. Now I'm more concentrating on the film. The books will always be there, and if someone is interested, it's there, they could get it. But my day-to-day is now more so on the filmmaking. So there's a season. I'm not trying to do everything at the same time. And like now we're not filming. Guess what? I'm either writing or working on other projects. So there's a friend of mine, she did a film that I was a producer on. So I'm a producer on other projects as well, helping them bring their visions happens to life. And so it was so much fun that she ended up putting me in front of the camera as the minister in the church scene. And I said, okay, that was fun to be in front of the camera. And then when she had her film premiere, I was there not just as a producer, which is usually the case, but I was there as a cast member. So that was kind of fun, and see myself on the big screen.
How was it different for you doing that, becoming an actual cast member and being on the screen?
It was fun, but the thing was, I kind of cheated because I was playing the minister. So I was acting, but not acting. And it was funny when we taped that scene. One of the cast members told the filmmaker, he said, I think she's found her calling. And then she laughed and told him, like, she's a minister for real, right? So I wasn't really acting. And the interesting thing was she told me what scripture she wanted me to come from. And then the end of my scene was her actual script, but the sermon, she was like, I said, how long do I get? She said, you got about 2 minutes. I just wrote, my own sermon for 2 minutes and did what I normally would do anyway. So that's why I said it was acting, but not acting, because it was what I do anyway.
Okay, awesome. That is great. Awesome. You are doing an amazing work out here too. So thank you. What other new projects do you have coming up soon for our listeners?
Oh, well, I'm working with A Positive Note, which is a kids project. So we're working on getting the cartoon out, and there's a book called A Positive Note that actually is in 3 languages. It's in English, French, and Spanish. So I'm working with getting the word out on that so that we can get that cartoon done. And we do live events. So last year we did back to school. So you would think I was one of the kids the way I run around with the characters as well. So that is something that's coming up that we're definitely pushing to get out. We're going to also, one of the things we did, I have to mention this, was because Season is a musical, we did a showcase called Season the Showcase on stage at the Salvation Army Clark Center. So it was, instead of doing the typical filmmakers do film premieres, right? Theater people, they have their stage plays, and then you have concerts. So we had a showcase which was part film premiere, part concert, part stage play. So we showed clips from the series. We had live musical performances of the music of seasons, and then we also had skits that I wrote that some of the cast members did, and then afterwards it was a meet and greet. So now that we have done that first showcase, I plan on having more showcase of Season in other areas, and just have people, because how often do you get the opportunity to watch a show on Tubi or whatever streaming service, and then you go to a live event where you get to actually meet the cast and the of the show. So we're going to do more showcases, and it was so much fun, and the audience enjoyed it. And then afterwards we had a beautiful program book with, at the back it was autographs, and I thought maybe they might think this was corny, but they loved it. I was getting autographs, taking pictures with the cast. So we definitely plan on doing more live showcase events of the show Season. So we're going to take that on the road. So look out for that as well.
And then how can people follow you to get that information in regards to Season and then other projects that you're working on?
Oh, absolutely. Well, for all things Seasoned, our Facebook page, Season the Series, is where you get most of the information. We have a website, seasontheseries.com, where you can get the information, and it's the link to Tubi, where you can watch the series. For myself, Miss Respect Speaks, Aretha Tatum, or just Aretha Tatum on Facebook. On Instagram at Miss Respect Joy, because joy is my superpower. So that's my Instagram. But anyone who's interested in possibly being part of the cast of Season, I always say send your headshot and your information to seasontheseries@gmail.com, because what I do is I gather the information, I put it in a potential cast folder, and when we're filming and we're looking for people, I go to that folder first to see who's there and then I'll reach out and let them know, hey, we're filming. Would you like to be part of this scene, or would you be interested in auditioning for this role? And I'm open to people who've never done it before, because a lot of our cast members, we have some who have experience, and then some it's the first time. And the beauty of it is a couple of the cast members have had their parents be part of it. So one of our cast members, Lisa, her mother, it was her first time. So she plays Mother Smith, and she has a ball being that fiery, feisty Mother Smith, and they were able to do that at the showcase. So not only did they perform in the series, they actually performed live on stage in the showcase doing a skit there. So I love to give opportunities to people where it's their first time, especially season. Yeah, because there's always that, what is that, catch-22? You can't do it if you don't have experience, but you never get the experience if no one gives you the opportunity to do. So I'm always open for giving opportunities for people who have never done it before. Why not? You know, give you a chance. And then I put you with people who have experience, and then you learn.
Learn and grow from it, yes. Yes, that is awesome. And then with your books, how is everyone able to find and to buy those books too?
Oh, my books are on Amazon. So if you look me up, Aretha Tatum on Amazon, you see my books. And in addition to books, we have season merchandise. So we have the shirts, and we have bags. We're building more and more merchandise. And another brand I have, which is actually on Amazon too, is Courage Over Fear. Because that's where it started. You know, my ministry, our ministry work was Courage Over Fear Productions, and I would do workshops and seminars to encourage, uplift, and inspire. And Courage Over Fear is a message that I guess kind of bled right into the purpose of season. You have to realize that, you know, what is the real root of you not going forth? You know, is fear the reason why you're not? And if it is fear, what is your fear of? Because some people literally have fear of failure, but others have fear of success. They're actually scared that, what if this actually works out? What does this mean? But whether it is fear of success or fear of failure, you have to get rid of that fear and just have that courage and step out on faith and just do it. Because again, just because you step out and do it, it may not be perfect, but you've done it, and you can always get better from there.
Yes, amazing message right there. Thank you so much for delivering that too. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to sit with us and to share everything about your books, to season, and then sending a positive message to let everyone know that we can do it. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. Remember this, it's never too late, and you're never too old to live on purpose.
Yes. Next up, a performance by Chikondi.
Can you take some time to get to know me? So you can't blame me for trying. Just get to know me. Don't fight it, girl, don't fight it. Don't fight it, girl, don't fight it. Hey, pretty, please. Hey. Don't fight it, girl, don't fight it. Don't fight it, girl, don't fight it. Hey, it's getting lonely. Hey, time's clocking. Stay on your heart, baby, over here knocking. Need a moment of the day, not a lot of it. Need the sand from your hourglass, just to drop it. Hey, I'll take this side by your rib, be the father to your kids, be attached to your hip or something. Go half on crib or something. Baby, listen. He giving old news, he giving whack things, he giving this, that, and he giving trash. So take some time to get to know me, or you get to owe me. Take some time to get to know it's getting lonely. I drove past your house 1,000 times, just scrolling through my memories. 1,000 means to define. I choose what means most to me. And I'm feeling so excited. I'm feeling so excited. How do you feel? Only you can see inside it. You know these things be vibing. How do you feel? Take some time to get you know me. Can I have a second of your time, lady? Tell me, is this situation? Tell me, is it relation? If you tell me, darling, you should take some time. Tell me, is this situation? Tell me, is it relation? If you tell me, darling, you should take some time. Can you take some time? Can you take some time to get to know me? Take some time to get to know me. Follow me on Instagram at Chikondi Man, chikondiman.com.
As you all go about your day, please remember never to give up. Do not let fear of success or fear of failure limit you. Remove the negative thoughts from your mind and go for everything that is yours. Thank you for joining us.